Recovery from substance use is a lifetime journey, and relapse is sometimes part of the process. The vicious cycle of treatment, recovery, and relapse can be exhausting for those who are dealing with family members who suffer from substance use disorders. Tammy Lofink knows this firsthand. Tammy lost her son, Robert, in 2014 to a fatal drug overdose. She joins us today to share her story. Tammy, so I'm really happy that you are willing to come out and share your story with us. And this part of that we're going to talk about today is more what you're doing for yourself, for your recovery. Because I can tell you that I can't imagine, and I'm sure many people watching this can't imagine what it's like to lose a child to an overdose. To lose a child anyway, but to lose a child the way that you did is just unfathomable to many of us. So what I want you to talk about is what you're doing for yourself, for your own recovery, and how your family has coped with this.
So Robert had just graduated high school, so he was 18 years old when he died at home. It was a Sunday morning. He died in his bed, and at that moment, I thought my life was over. I remember sitting in the front yard, having that moment of, my life will never be the same. I never wanted to go back in the house. I wanted to die. I didn't know how I was going to exist. But after a few months went by, I had a feeling like I wanted to do something to help others and also help myself, because I knew that it was going to be a struggle and a lifelong journey to have to live without my son. And I also have a daughter, and I wanted her to know that Mom wasn't just going to give up, and I wanted to make something meaningful out of Robert's death. So on the year anniversary of his death, I opened a nonprofit called Rising Above Addiction. And my goal at the time was to do fundraisers and raise money to help young people get to treatment. And over time, that just kind of grew, and I ended up becoming a community partner with our state's attorney's office and the health department. And before long, I was doing fundraisers, partnering up with the drug court program and helping people get to treatment. And in the first couple years of starting Rising Above Addiction, I was approached to open a sober home, and I didn't even know what that was. But we opened it in maybe 2016 or 17. And then a couple years later, we opened another girls' recovery home. And like I said, I didn't know what that was, but that has ended up being one of the most healing things for me. The first home is named after Robert, using his initials. It's called Reclaiming My Life, and a picture of Robert hangs at the front door. And I tell the girls as they're leaving for the day, when they see his picture, to remember that throughout the day can be life and death. And we have counselors that come in and do group therapy, and I've gotten very close to the girls and have been able to walk the girls through their journey of recovery and see a lot of them succeed and go on to move out and start families and have houses of their own, and it's been very healing.
That's what was one of the things I was going to ask is why do you think the fact that you're helping other people is so healing? And I know you do a lot of things, from the fundraisers that not only does the money go to help support people getting into addiction and other things, but it also creates a community of not just people in recovery, but community partners that all come together. And I've just seen it through the years as things have progressed for you. What do you think is the benefit that you get from helping other people? Does it make you just feel like you're giving back, and and Rob's name is not in vain, and it's just it's obviously it does something for you to do it.
So I always say that the journey of Robert's death is tragic, but it's also very beautiful. And I have gained so many gifts through Robert's death. I wasn't able to save him, but he's saving me, and I get life on a completely different level. I have never felt the kind of love that I feel from the girls at the house, from people that I help, families that call me and need help getting their son or daughter or their loved one to treatment, and being able to walk them through that process and actually get their loved one into treatment is so healing. Because I feel like it's Rob doing it, that every time I can help someone be saved, Rob's helping that person. And his life was wonderful, but also his death is just, it has taken on a life of its own. I mean, he was born in such a different way when he died, and it's so honoring, humbling, and such a blessing to be able to help people in his name.
How about your daughter, Leah? How does what's her recovery look like? I know she just finished school, and there's a lot going on with that. If other people are watching that are siblings of someone and they've lost a sibling, what is something that Leah has done? I know she's really involved in a lot of the things you do.
Yeah, she was in 10th grade when Robert died, and the whole family was home. She saw her brother in his bed, and for a long time we all kind of grieved and went in our own separate ways, including Leah. But somehow she was able to take the situation, and it has made her stronger, more compassionate, more of a loving person. She always wanted to be in the medical field, but after Rob died, she decided she wanted to kind of be on the front lines of nursing and be in shock trauma. And she just recently graduated from Towson, and she's working at the University of Maryland as a shock trauma nurse. And recently she's been asked to do PRN at Shoemaker, which is one of our local treatment centers where people are coming straight, where they need detox straight from the streets. And so she'll be doing that. She hasn't started yet, but it's almost come full circle for her. And I think it will be really good for her to be in there and see people who come in and they're going through withdrawal, and she'll be able to help them and be compassionate on a different level because she's been through it and she's lost somebody to the disease.
Yeah, it gives her a real purpose to do what she's doing. If somebody is out there now in our county we have just this year we've had a lot of fatal overdoses. What would be some advice you could give someone who's going through what you went through in the early stages of right after you lost Rob? I know for you, I met you very soon after that, and you were really on fire to jump in and do something. What would you suggest for someone?
I always tell people that it doesn't feel like it, but you're going to be okay. Not to give up. It's going to be a rough journey, and there's going to be times that are dark, but you will get through it. And I can tell them what's helped me to get involved. And it's crazy because I'm not in recovery, but I feel like now the recovery community is part of my community and my family. I took a mom who lost her son, actually two moms. We took the girls from the sober homes to the beach overnight, and one of the girls at the house is pregnant, and we did a surprise baby shower for her. And the other two moms that went with me, after the weekend was up, they said it was just so healing for them to be around people who were doing well, and the girls all made us pictures of all the girls at the house, and on the back said something about each one of our kids. And I would just suggest that the parents get involved and try to help prevent that from happening to somebody else.
That's good. That's really good advice. Because even for us in recovery, the thing that we do is help others to keep our mind off ourself, and it kind of takes us out of ourself. And it sounds like it's the same thing that you're doing and trying to advise other people to do. Tammy, I really appreciate it. We do a lot of work in the community together. You're always there if I need someone to be a part of something and to help support something in our county. And I can tell you, I really appreciate it. And I just want to thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
It's important to talk about addiction without being judged. Overcoming the stigma and discussing the issue openly empowers us all to take the steps needed to begin recovery.